Alright guys, as City Skylines do draws ever closer, I think it's time to reach our final milestone in this game. Today I'll attempt and God willing succeed in attaining 20,000 more population. Because it's time guys to reach Megapolis. So, what I was thinking, we will buy this piece of land right over here, and I'll jump straight into road planning. Alright, and so here we go, we got our basic road layout. What I'm thinking is we're gonna go ahead and get ourselves some high density residential up here to the northern side of things. And actually I made everything here wall to wall, so we'll see how that's gonna look. And we are gonna be going with European suburbia, so that's gonna be an interesting look, and hopefully it's not gonna disappoint. Anyway, just gonna make sure that all of these pathways out here are actually not blocked by the buildings that are gonna be building out here. Otherwise, that's not gonna be looking all too great. As you can remember, a few episodes ago, we had that happen, and then I had to waste a lot of time removing all of these roads. Hopefully that's not going to be the case here. Oh, by the way, I should probably remove these guys from here because that's where we're going to be having some of our commercial zones. As you can see, I do have bicycle lanes on every single road out here. So my hope, my dream is that people are going to be using bicycles and they are going to be walking a little bit more than they are going to be using the roads. I mean, obviously getting out of town, they are going to need to use some of those cars, but overall I hope that everything is going to be working out just fine. Continuing on, we are going to be going here with some commercial, which is going to be going out here next to these roads. To this road out here. They are going to be a little bit smaller than usual, at least in this area. As you can see, most of them are like 3 squares deep, so it's not going to be giving them all that much space, but I think they are going to be able to survive quite nicely. And you know what? We are going to be going as far as out here to add just a couple stores out here, so this should be building up quite nicely. And let's take a look at these guys. I mean, look at that. They look actually quite stunning. I mean, look at these buildings out here. I mean, they're colorful. I mean, maybe a little bit too colorful for my taste, but I'm not gonna judge. They do look unique. And then these guys out here with their balconies, whatnot. I mean, it does look absolutely stunning, like with a bunch of different plants here. Even a bench. I don't know, I mean, that's not your usual patio stuff, at least not here in the United States that I've seen, but you know what, to each his own, Oh, and look at this guy out here. These guys out here actually have a bunch of tables. Unique, all right. Looking pretty good. Alright, I think we're good with that. Let's actually jump right over here. So this is going to be our IT cluster. So let's take a look at how that's going to be looking. So, and I can't remember if I had... Okay, yeah, we did add water to these guys. All they need is a little bit of power. So let's give them that. I'm thinking we are just going to jump from here to like about here. Then just jump out here. And this should give them power. There you go. They should be pretty happy. I mean, these guys are looking actually pretty nice. They're looking pretty good. I mean, might be a little bit too tall for my liking, but it is what it is. I mean, some of these are actually very, very small. And some of these are huge. But they still look pretty nice. So we're gonna go with that. And yeah, I mean, look at that. They're continuing on building. So there is obviously a need for work. They are not building out here as of now, so that's a bit concerning, but overall I think we're gonna be fine. Well, let's add a couple of buildings out here, continue with this trend, and I think we're still gonna add a couple of guys out here. I'm not so sure. We might leave this for maybe like a leisure area, some parks maybe, or something like that. We'll figure that one out a little bit later. Out here for sure we're gonna have offices, and yeah, let's add a couple of commercial zones out here as well. So we're gonna be going, I think this is gonna be good. Maybe even destroy a couple of these blocks out here so they're not building next to this road. Let that be a little bit free of traffic, hopefully. And I did add a couple of roads out here, as you can see, pathways actually for my workforce to actually just walk over rather than drive around. So hopefully that's going to be giving a little bit of a break here to this roundabout. If not, well, it is what it is, I suppose, but my hope is they're going to be using pathways, and they can use pathways out here as well. So if they are trying to get from this district out here, with about 8,000 population, if they're trying to go here, they have that easy access rather than having to use the highway here. So that's nice. All right, let's go back out here. So these guys are moving in, but they still have plenty of space to move in. They're not using all of these blocks. That's completely fine. But before we jump into everything else, let's actually put some of the garbage collection facilities out here. And I'm thinking we are going to be putting that probably right about here by the offices. So is this reaching everything? Looks like it pretty much does. What about this guy? Pretty much the same thing. Although pollution, he is polluting quite a bit. What about waste transfer facility? Is this gonna be nice? We could actually put this guy here and then maybe add like a waste processing complex at some other place. So let's do that. I'm thinking we're gonna add this guy like right around here. So yeah, let's put this guy like right about here. That's gonna be enough to reach pretty much everybody out here. And then we do gotta place this guy, and I'm thinking, okay, this is gonna be putting too much strain on these guys, so we really don't want to be doing that. All right, there you go. He should have enough water. He should have enough electricity. He is, oh, ever so slightly, he is on the highway, so that's a bit concerning. We gotta move him ever so slightly. I think right here is gonna be more than enough. Yeah, there you go. This is okay. He's not on the highway anymore. So going out here, grabbing once again with a bike lane out here. And we're gonna go through here. This guy right around here. Grab myself a big hospital. And we're gonna be putting this guy... Let's actually turn that thing off for right now. Okay, there you go. That's gonna be helping out a little bit. And let's put this guy right about here, so he's going to be reaching everybody, which is nice. Then we're going to go with a fire department, and fire department I'm actually thinking of putting... Oh, actually, no, let's grab a bigger one. That's probably going to be a little bit more helpful. And he's once again reaching everybody, so... Let's put him, like, right next to this road out here. I think that's going to be okay. And last but not least, a fire... No. This is a police station. This is a police station. I'm thinking we could probably put this guy right about here. Obviously, we're not going to be having too much stuff going on around here, but what we will have, I think, is going to be more than enough. And continuing on, we need some death care out here as well. Okay, here we go. I think we can add one out here. That's going to be helping out quite a bit. And then another one, I'm thinking we could add that maybe right about here. So that should be enough of death care for everybody around here. We might add a couple of these guys as well. There you go, next to each other. Out here, I'm thinking, yeah, we're gonna put this guy probably here in the middle, so that should be okay. So that should be enough services. And now we gotta connect these guys with everything, and they're gonna build up here. So we will need to build up around here just a little bit so these guys can jump over here. All right, there you go. So most of my services now do have electricity out here. I think all of it, except for these guys out here, but I'm totally fine with those guys. Going back to my IT cluster, looks like everything built up out here quite nicely. Obviously there's no population, but there should be quite a bit of workers. 800 workers out here actually, so that's pretty nice. And look at these buildings. I mean, some of them are repeating a little bit too often, but I think that's going to be okay. And we could add a couple more right about here. There we go. Actually, not out here and not out here. As I said, a leisure area out here more than likely. And then these guys out here, just add a couple of more. And finish this area up with these guys out here. Maybe even destroy these guys here. Alright, and so that should be it for this general area. The only thing that I forgot out here is actually some entertainment. I completely blanked out on that. So let's find something out here, and I'm thinking a big baseball field. And since this area out here, ooh, that's gonna be a little bit tough to put this guy in here, isn't it? Yeah, he is not actually gonna fit in here. Or is he? I mean, barely. I could try fitting this guy out here. I think he just barely might fit in. So let's see if that's actually gonna work out or not. I'm just gonna destroy everything here. Right, it actually fits like a glove. I did have to play around with the roads a little bit out here just because, you know, a little bit too high above the roads, so I had to raise them up just so it looks a little bit nicer. However, it does create a bit of a concern out here just because this looks like it's going a little bit too much up, so we gotta fix this up a little bit. But overall, I think it's not gonna be too big of an issue. It's not that big of a deal, as you can see, just a little bit, and these guys out here will have to raise them up as well. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, and now everybody have something to do out here. We will add a couple of more things out here, like parking lots, just to make sure that these guys have an easier time. Like out here, I think is going to be a good spot for a parking lot. Maybe skip a couple of... Actually, let's put them like here in the middle. I think that's going to be fine. So there you go. We got a parking lot there. Might need to destroy a couple of buildings, but once again, nothing too major. Yeah, I think a parking lot out here. And this should be pretty good for all of these boys out there. And a parking lot here. I think this is going to fit in quite nicely. There you go. And I think that's going to be pretty much it with parking. Oh, actually, hold on. No. We will add a couple of parking spots out here because I am going to go with high density out here as well. So let's go ahead and add a couple of these parking lots anyway, as they are going to be needed. And I think that's going to be enough for parking lots there. Still not too happy about parking lots here, but we're gonna let it be. And then just a couple of parks. That's a little too large, so we need something a little bit smaller. Like this guy out here, he fits in quite nicely. Same thing here, we need... Oh, actually, no, that's a little too big. We can add another one out here. There should be a dog park somewhere as well. So let's add a dog park. I'm thinking let's add one right about there. And one, probably want to add that. Oh, that's going to destroy quite a bit of buildings out here, so might as well go with something a little bit bigger. Okay, let's go with a tropical garden. Add this guy like right about here. And then we're going to add a couple of trees here, so might as well just say nope to that. There you go, looks absolutely beautiful. And the only thing that these guys will need out here is some schooling. And the schooling, that's gonna be the toughest thing we gotta do. So what I'm thinking is we're gonna go ahead and add an elementary school right in this little quadrant. And there you go, high capacity. We're gonna add this guy right about here. Everybody should be happy. I think they are going to be able to reach these guys. Oh, except for one thing, they are going to need a little bit of water. Can't forget about that. And obviously, they're going to need a high school. And the high school, I'm thinking we're going to be adding in this quadrant out here, as there is quite a bit of space that we can utilize. And we could actually go ahead and... do something like this out here. Obviously destroy these guys there. Add these guys right about here. So this is gonna stay as is. And then our high school, we're gonna add that going out here. And then we can connect these guys up once we actually have access to build a little bit further. But for now, I think we're gonna stay as is. And this is our high capacity high school. And we're gonna add this guy right here. And obviously these guys will need water, as always. And some electricity. And electricity, I think that's gonna be the toughest part about all of this. Just trying to connect everything. And there you go. I think everything's connected now. That's pretty good. There should be quite a bit of students right there. There you go. Already 320. These guys got 430, so that's quite a few of them. That's pretty good. Garbage is not being disposed as quickly as I would like, so I guess we will need to add just one more thing out here. So this thing actually doesn't do that much pollution. This guy has a little bit more pollution, but I think in the grand scheme of things that's gonna be fine, so we're just gonna add him in. And there you go. These guys are building up like crazy. It looks like there is a little bit of traffic, mostly because these guys are trying to change lanes. I'm not sure why these guys are specifically using this lane to get out from here. That seems like it's a little bit weird. And actually, I'm not really sure why I made this 4-lane either, so let's fix that. Okay, now that's 3 lanes. Hopefully that's gonna help out a little bit. If not, we will fix this up. Traffic looks like it's still moving, so I'm not too worried about it as of right now. These guys are doing pretty good, and we're already at 5,500, so that's pretty nice. And while these guys are building up here, I think it's time to actually introduce this area out here. So this is gonna be our leisure area. This is gonna be our pedestrian area where people are just gonna be enjoying themselves. This whole quadrant out here. What I'm thinking of adding out here, there's quite a few things that I want to add in. One of them being a traffic park, which we are gonna put here for now. Another couple of things that I was thinking of adding, there's actually Plaza of the Dead, which we can obviously add out here. Another thing we could add out here is going to be a couple of these parks. So there's Fountain of Life and Death, which is going to be in the same thing as Plaza of the Dead. And also there is Friendly Neighborhood Park, which we could add in as well. I do not want to go with anything too big like this transport tower. That looks to be too tall for this particular area. I don't like it. And then there's Lawns of the City, which is pretty nice. I mean, it's a pretty big park with a bunch of trees, so we're gonna go ahead and add that in as well. Alright, so there you go. Our little pedestrian leisure area is all done. I've added a little beach out here with a couple of small kiosks, and I think one of them is actually a ice cream shop or something like that, so that's pretty nice. Put a bunch of canoes out here, and I'm not really sure what's here. I think that's a bird. That's really weird. But other than that, this area is pretty much done, I think. I mean, I'm not really sure what else I could add out here. I mean, got a bunch of parking lots, gotta have a bunch of different stores out here, so hopefully people are gonna be enjoying all of that. There's a Buckman arcade. There's also Play All You Want arcade. So there's a lot of arcades and stuff like that added out here. So that's pretty nice. People out here are having a little bit of trouble. Gotta help them out real quick. All right, there you go. So now these people are doing a little bit better. These guys out here are having a bit of trouble, but I think we can help them out. What I think we can do is actually go like right about here and go a bit out here. So that should give them a little bit more room to churn. Well, the angle is not going to be as sharp, so people should be moving a little bit quicker. These guys out here are having a lot of trouble. I'm not really sure as to why they're trying to get to this particular lane. They have so much time to change lanes later on. So that's a little bit weird, but it's not that big of a problem as of right now, so I'm not going to be paying attention too much to it at the moment. Continuing on, I think it's time to actually add a little bit of low density out here. And I'm thinking we're gonna have a bunch of houses here, like those beach houses, whatnot, going out here. So they should be having a little bit of fun. And then we're just gonna be adding a couple of boys out here. All right, there you go. So we have added a little bit of low density residential, as well as a little bit of low density commercial. So everything here should be working properly. These guys do need a little bit of electricity, it looks like, but not much I can do right now since there's not that many of them. Let's add a couple of parks out here, and I'm thinking we're gonna go with like a large playground. Actually, that might be a little bit too large, so we're gonna be adding that guy probably like right about here. And just for the heck of it, we're gonna add a small park, which is actually quite big. But anyway, let's just add this guy right around here. Oh, and there you go. This is going to be perfect. Now everybody should have electricity out here. And we're just waiting for these guys to move just ever so slightly this way. And then everything is going to be quite nice out here. And since this is going to be high density residential out here, it's only natural to add a couple of parking lots out here. And this looks like a perfect spot for it. I'll add another parking lot out here. Probably one more right about here, and one more about there. Obviously, they'll need a couple of parks. I'm thinking probably let's go with park with trees. That's a pretty large and sizable park, which actually does not fit nicely out here anywhere, so I guess we're not going to be adding that. But anyway, let's add something else. There's still quite a few parks out here that we can add, so I'm not too worried about it at all. And last but not least, this guy is going to be going right about here, so everybody should have plenty of things to do. And last but not least, there's still elder care, which we have to add. And look at that, average health is 95%, and people are living towards 81 years. That's actually quite impressive. And since we have a hospital out here, I think elder care we're gonna add out here. And child care, I think we want to add that. Okay, I think a good spot is gonna be like right about here. It's not central to anything. The only thing we can do, however, is add a pathway to it, so it's a little bit easier for these guys to reach it. There you go. And just so if these guys want to go out here, they don't actually have to drive all the way out here just to reach it. They can actually just go up here and then just go up here and call it a day. So I think that's going to be preferable. Still having a little bit of trouble with garbage out here, so I don't really like that. but at the same time, I don't think there is too much we can do. Garbage is being picked up slowly, ever so slowly. I mean, there's a couple of cars driving there right now, so we're gonna leave it be. We're gonna leave it be. Let's continue on. We do need to add a little bit of commercial out here. There you go. Add that out here. Add that out there. And add these guys right about here. We're gonna leave this area be for now. I think we need to help them out a little bit with traffic just so these people don't get stuck between each other, because I need this road to be moving even with so many different access points. I'm thinking the same thing out here, just let these guys move along. This road out here I'm gonna leave empty just because once again, I need these people to keep moving along. I don't want anybody getting stuck. Out here, I think we want to do the same thing. And same thing here, just make sure you're giving way, and that's pretty much all I want from these guys. Everything else looks like it's working out. And there you go, we've reached 90,000 population, which opens up a lot of freedom for us with all of these new areas being unlocked. Alright, we are gonna start connecting some of these roads out here, so we gotta buy some of these tiles out here, and I'm gonna actually buy everything I can out here as well. There we go, and I think that's gonna be good enough for now for us to do whatever we need to do. I'll actually buy these tiles as well for the heck of it. So there you go. So now we can actually start connecting out to this road out here. I'm a little bit confused as to why it doesn't allow me to buy out here. That's a little bit weird to me, but it is what it is. And as you can see, I've added a couple of intersections here. So this one is going to be helping out with folks going into this general area. This one I've just added so they have an easier transition going through the middle of this city. So that should be pretty good. Not that many intersections as some other roads, so that's nice. And just another intersection out here, so these guys have an easier time getting into this town, which I think is going to be helping out quite a bit, especially with these two intersections here, which are getting a little bit busy. So, having done that, we do need to focus a little bit on our industry, because we do have quite the need. And I've put a couple of waste facilities out here, so there's actual waste transfer facility, a landfill, and a couple of recycling centers here, so nothing too crazy. Alright, I've added an actual district out here, got a couple of things going out here for these guys. I also made this industrial evolution, so we should have some pretty nice looking industrial buildings out here. And without further ado, what I'm thinking is we're gonna start right about here, I want to say. Yeah, let's go with that. And while we're waiting for these guys to connect out here, let's just add a little connection of our own. And what I am thinking, actually, I'm not really sure. Maybe we can just add one of these guys out here somewhere. Or maybe something a little, just a tiny bit smaller. Let's just put this guy right about here. We will destroy him once we're not gonna need him. We just want to make sure that these guys are building out here. And there you go. Electricity's here. These buildings are looking absolutely beautiful. And look at them build up. Even a couple of offices are starting to build up here as well. Alright guys, we accomplished a little bit more than I initially intended. I thought we would just get to those 90,000, but as you can see, we added a couple of connections and a whole new area of industry. So that's a bit more than I wanted to, but that's fine. That's fine. Anyway guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week when we're gonna be saying goodbye to this beautiful city, because soon enough, City Skylines 2 is gonna be coming out, and I hope to see you there as well. Anyway, Scorpion out.